Alright, so let's go ahead and jump right into it. So if you don't know about the V60 Polestar, it's basically the exact same thing as the S60 Polestar, but you're going to have it in wagon form. Now, as we all know, or if you don't know, Polestar is turning itself into a fully electric brand, basically a sub-brand of Volvo. So right now what they're doing is they're injecting their performance DNA into Volvo sedans, their SUV, the XC60, and this is what you get. So it's not going to be a full-on Polestar vehicle, it's just a Volvo with a little bit of that Polestar engineering and performance capabilities. So you're not going to have a massive horsepower bump in this thing. It bumps up to 415 horsepower in this one, and of course I'll talk more about the engine specs once we get under the hood. But this thing looks incredible. I love wagons, and this is a beautiful example of a good styled wagon. Now, the one thing I do like about all Volvos is that once you come to the front, you've got that signature Thor's hammer LED coming right here, and it looks incredible. So obviously at night this thing looks really nice. Volvo did a great job with the lighting. It just really enhances the presence of this vehicle. The other thing I do like is you have the blacked out grille on this Polestar engineered version, and you can also see the little Polestar badge located right there. Nice little white badge. Now coming to the wheels, you're going to have these really cool looking Polestar specific wheels. They're going to be 19-inch wheels, and these are actually going to be wrapped in Continental tires. You're gonna have 235 40s all the way around this car, and this is going to be a 19-inch wheel. Now right behind here, you're gonna have Polestar engineered Brembo brakes. You have that gold brake caliper right behind there. Right above the wheels, you're gonna have your plugs. So that's where you're gonna plug in this car, because obviously it is a plug-in hybrid, because it is the T8 formula that Volvo has in their lineup. Just with the Polestar version, once again, it has been tuned just a little bit more to create a little bit more horsepower. Now, believe it or not, at this angle, it looks even better. So you're gonna have your signature Volvo lights that you have on the normal S60, V60 lineup, gonna be full LEDs right back here. I love the way it integrates into this bodywork. It actually fits really well with the wagon. I think all the sharp lines in the back really complement the smooth lines you're gonna have towards the front. So it's almost like the whole car gets more aggressive as you move backwards. Now coming down here, you're gonna have blacked out exhaust tips. That is going to be specific to the Polestar engineered version. And then of course, you're gonna have one more Polestar badge right there off to the side. Alright you guys, so hopping inside the Volvo V60 Polestar. Now this is going to be your key for the V60 Polestar. Pretty standard Volvo key. You've got some nice leather up top, your panic button off to the left side, and then all your unlock, lock, and trunk release buttons on the right side. Pretty nice key. It feels very light. You've got this nice little Swedish flag on here. Now this is definitely an accessory that Volvo threw in, but it looks pretty cool. Now to get in, you can obviously use the key, or you can use the touch sensitive buttons located on the door handles. All right, so sitting inside the interior of the Volvo V60 Polestar. Now it's very familiar if you've sat in anything Volvo. It's pretty much the same as the S60, the normal V60, but you have a few very small touches. So I'm not gonna do a full in-depth review on the interior. I'm just gonna point out the 3 or 4 things that are unique to this. So you're gonna have your golden seat belts right here, which are gonna be unique. You are going to have these nicer seats. They're a little bit more bolstered, but it's nothing too aggressive. Honestly, that's pretty much going to be it. It's really those 2 things. Everything else is pretty standard Volvo. The Bowers & Wilkins system is fantastic. All the inlays on the dash are pretty much the same. You've got the same shifter. You don't get the crystal shifter in here, but I believe you can get it as an option. This one just has your normal shifter, so I don't even have the crystal shifter to show you guys on this tester. So yeah, that's pretty much it for the front. If you guys want to see a more in-depth review, be sure to go and check out my previous reviews, like of the S60. I have that link in the description, and I do a full in-depth review of the entire interior. But let's go ahead and check out the backroom space. All right, so hopping in the back seat of the V60 Polestar. Now, I do want to apologize because my wife isn't here to help me film, and filming by yourself is incredibly difficult. But sitting behind my set seating position, I'm 6 feet tall. I've got about a little bit of room. So the way this dips in, at the top is where my knee is, and I don't have a lot of room there, but right underneath that, I've got a good amount more room. So that's pretty interesting. My feet don't go under super far, so I can't really scoot my feet out to get comfortable, and my back is pretty much against, I don't know if you guys can see this back seat. The other weird thing is that there's this hump here that's absolutely massive. So if you're gonna sit a third person here, they're gonna have to straddle this massive hump, and it goes super high. Now you are going to have a vent located right here. You're gonna have LED lights up here, an area to put like dry cleaning, things like that. A beautiful view with this panoramic roof. Now coming to the middle, you do of course have cup holders, but you've got this really interesting like shallow area here, which is really strange. Lift this up, you've got a good amount of storage space, but it's not super deep, and your cup holders are going to be located right there. Pretty much gonna be it for the back seat. Let's go ahead and check out trunk space. All right, so once you have the hatch open on the back of the V60 Polestar, you have a ton of room back here, obviously more than the S60, but compared to other wagons, this is not gonna be class leading. So you guys can see the cubic feet here on the screen. You do have a little cover right here, so very easy, you just pull that back like that. It'll slide right back. Now you can also fold the rear seats down, obviously, to get more room. You have a little strap over here off to the right side. You're gonna have a 12 volt located right down there. A little area over here, that's where the charging cable is located. And of course you can lift this up. There's not a ton of space underneath here. And you do have your battery right back there. So let's go ahead and see what's under the hood. All right, checking out under the hood of the V60 Polestar. Now here's one little detail. See how the hood goes almost all the way just vertical? They actually did that on purpose for this vehicle because underneath the hood you do have the adjustable dampers from Öhlins, and if you're going to be adjusting those, you want to make sure you have room, so the hood does prop up a little bit higher than a normal S60 or V60. Now once we come under here, you've got this crazy drivetrain. So it's going to be a turbocharged 2-liter 4-cylinder that's also supercharged, plus it's going to be a plug-in hybrid. Now this has been tuned a little bit by Polestar, so in total it makes 415 horsepower and it makes a hefty 494 pound-feet of torque. Now you do have the electric motor driving the rear wheels, and then of course the gasoline engine is doing the front wheels, and that is all going through an 8-speed automatic transmission. Now that is an in-house transmission, and as you guys will see, it shifts pretty okay. And then you can drive this thing up to 22 miles on electric power alone. But let's go ahead and get this on the road and see how it does. All right, so driving the Volvo V60 Polestar engineered T8. Now this is my first time driving any of the T8 powertrains from Volvo. I have not done it on the S90, I haven't done it on the XC60, I haven't even done it on the S60. So my first experience, and then on top of that, just figuring out what it feels like overall being a Polestar engineered vehicle. Now, this isn't a full-on Polestar, because obviously Polestar is transitioning into their own brand. This is just Polestar doing Volvo a favor, helping them out, giving them a performance edge on their already pretty good vehicles. So this, like I said, makes 415 horsepower. You do have this charged engine, so you have this 4-cylinder, turbocharged, supercharged, and the plug-in hybrid setup. So it's pretty complicated if I'm being completely honest. So you can switch to your modes obviously by pushing this, going through. So up top you have constant all-wheel drive, pure, hybrid, and individual. So pure is obviously just full electric, hybrid is a mix of both. So let's go ahead and switch to hybrid. So right now it's running off full electricity, and it tells me in this gauge right here, but if I go above a certain point, gas engine kicks in, and you can hear like the turbocharger, you can hear the supercharger. So it's like this weird mix of induction noise and supercharger whine. So I have the AC really low. I'm in Santa Ana right now, but I'm making my way to the Los Angeles Convention Center because I'm actually filming this the week of the LA Auto Show. So I'm actually going to the press day, and yeah, so it's about an hour and 23-minute drive. So it'll be a good way to test this on highways, and then I'm taking these roads for just a little bit until I absolutely have to get on the highway. But anyways, it drives pretty good in hybrid mode. Now, it's pretty seamless when you switch between your gas and electric, at least driving in hybrid mode. Now, if I were to go ahead and switch it to Polestar Engineered, which is basically like your sport mode, let's see how it goes. Now, this doesn't have any launch control, so I'm turning off this lane keeping aid because it makes the steering feel really weird. I was just trying to figure out what that was. And I'm gonna do ESC sport mode. All right, just gonna floor it. Whoa, okay. All right, it got up to speed very, very quickly. So that was interesting. Now, right off the get-go, you definitely feel all of that electric torque. After that, it's just extremely linear. And the difference I noticed between like a full EV and this is an EV obviously is very, very linear. This is very linear, but you feel yourself racking up speed more the longer you stay into the accelerator. Obviously, that's the benefit of having the gasoline engine, is that as of right now, they still have the capabilities to go higher speeds faster and sustain it for longer than you can in like a fully electric vehicle. So that's really where you're gonna think, man, this thing is fast, if you're on the highway, I guess, and you just get into it. I'm about to hop on the highway, so we'll find out for sure. Whoa. I mean, yeah, it picks up really, really well. Definitely fast by most people's standards. All right, so this is fun. I forgot California has these lights right here. So once it turns green, then I can go. So let's just go ahead and get up to speed. Woo! I actually felt the tires spinning a little bit right there. Okay, so I'm up to speed. That was pretty quick. That was 60 right there. And getting onto the highway, merging is no issue. And yeah, this thing is great. It's a cruiser. So because of those Öhlins dampers, I do want to talk about that because this is my first experience with anything Öhlins. Now, they are a Swedish company, Öhlins, and makes sense in a Swedish car. Now, technically this is made by Chinese, but we're not going to get into that. The dampers are pretty good. Now, they are very firm, so I can definitely feel everything going on. But I don't feel like I'm being beat up. Not sure if that's because of the versatility of the dampers or if that's because of Volvo's incredible seat design, because these seats are incredibly comfortable. Or it may be both. But what I do know for sure is it is weird getting into a vehicle like this and not having adaptive suspension. So, like I said, this has adjustable suspension. The difference is adaptive, push of a button, boom, I can make it whatever I want. Adjustable, you actually got to go under the hood, adjust the dampers on here, and to get to the rear dampers you actually have to put the car in a lift, and there's like a flap underneath there somewhere that you can adjust. So very interesting to see that on a Volvo. I guess in my head I just don't think many Volvo owners will do something like that, but maybe it's appealing to a unique audience. I mean, a performance Volvo is already appealing to a very unique audience, so I don't know, maybe Volvo knows their clientele and their customer base better than hopefully any of us do. So maybe they know exactly what their customers want. Now, obviously, you still have your standard cruise control features right here. So all I have to do is push this button here in the middle. That will turn on cruise control for me, just like that. There we go. I'm set to, what, 75? I can adjust my distance right here. And then if I hit this arrow to the right, that will put me in pilot assist, which at that point, it takes over steering controls for me. So it'll steer itself pretty well. Now, I have had situations with Volvo, not this car in specific, but with Volvo where it kind of like went over into the other lane, so that kind of freaked me out. But for the most part, it's a pretty good system, and it works pretty well. Now, blind spots are almost non-existent in here. That's the best thing about a wagon. Big mirrors, great view out of the back. It's really just a rectangle that you're looking out of in the back, so visibility is great. If I were to look over and check my blind spot, boom, good to go. So that's definitely a big plus about getting the wagon. So the sound is not the best, but I will say this car does not feel like it's stressing itself out to put out power. It feels very effortless. It doesn't feel like the car is even trying. I mean, it's just really smooth, and it's pretty impressive. All right, you guys, so the battery on this is completely depleted. So I'm at a little EVgo level 2 charging station, and I'm gonna see how long this is going to take. Now, unfortunately, I can't show you how much it will cost because EVgo did send me a card to use for about 60 days. So all the charging for me is going to be free using an EVgo station. So once again, apologize that I can't give you an actual price because it doesn't tell me the price once I'm finished. But let's go ahead, plug it up, and see how long this takes. Okay, so it has this interesting little screen right here which shows the energy going through the plug into the port. And it says it'll be fully charged at 4:30. It's 2:57 a.m. Alright, so it's almost 4:30, and it looks like the fully charged time has gone up to 5:15. So I don't feel like waiting here until 5 o'clock, so I'm just going to go ahead and disconnect it and see what kind of range we have. Okay, so right down here it's going to say nothing, so it just gives me a little bit over half. It says 250 miles there, but it also said that before I started charging. So that's a little confusing. Now, I do know that this will get about 22 miles of range just on electric power alone. So I can assume that's maybe somewhere in the neighborhood of like 12 to 17 miles right there. So I can add another 12 to 17 miles to that 250, and that is roughly what my estimated range would be right now. Well, everyone, I want to thank you all so much for watching. If you like this video, be sure to give it a huge thumbs up. Be sure to subscribe for more car content, and I'll see you guys in the next review.